Welcome back for another episode for Two for Tuesday. Two for Tuesday is when I ask a shop owner two questions about a specific topic. And to introduce our guest, I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself.
Thank you, Reed. I appreciate it. And I just wanted to comment, I love your Steelers chair back there. The Steelers.
Thank you.
My name is Dave Striegel. I built Elizabeth Auto Care in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania. It's a small bedroom community of Pittsburgh, and it's a 6-bay automotive facility. We've been up and running there for about 16 years now, and I'm just getting ready to retire this year.
Awesome. So that kind of is a great segue, because our discussion today with Mr. Dave is tips on transferring your shop to an employee. So I have two questions for Dave. First, how did you decide which team member would be the best to take over the wheel of your ship?
Well, that's a pretty good question. Actually, Reed, I built this facility with one person in mind. So far, Mike has been with me for about 29 years. He's got a management type personality. He was actually a lead tech of mine. I made him my service manager at the new facility. And he just has that mindset of being able to control the facility well. He has a couple things to learn yet. You know, we're still working on financials and back office procedures and stuff, but there's a certain, I want to say, responsible personality that you need to find. Somebody who is frugal with money, understands that it's hard to come by. That's who I was looking for. Now, I always have contingencies there too. So, you know, what if it didn't work out with Mike? Who would be the next in line? I think we probably have at least one other candidate, you know, behind Mike. It's all in the hiring process too. Every time I hire, I'm thinking, is this person a possible candidate to take over my business?
Interesting there, because my actual next question to you was, how long was it in the works? But I think you almost answered that. It's been in the works since you started from day one. Is that safe to say? That being said, what was the most important thing you were thinking of along the way to make it work for everybody?
It has been in the works since day one. And the interesting part about all this was, I don't have any kids. I don't have any legacy. So my goal was to really just get out of the automotive business while I still had, you know, enough physical capabilities to go have fun. Mike is only 2-3 years younger than me, but he plans on working longer than I am. And he has a son. His son is now in our business. He's a technician with us. So he has a little bit of legacy there. He has the ability to turn this facility over again. You know, I'm showing him his retirement process right now. The way that we're transitioning the business to him, he's going to be able to turn around and take the same process and be able to transition it to his son, willing. So we don't know if that's going to happen yet, but you know, 16 years ago, we didn't know if little John, who was riding around on his bicycle, was ever going to be in the automotive field, but he followed right after his dad.
And then what would you say is the most important thing to you as you were doing this journey? The success of, it sounds like the success of Mike to you was probably more important than the price of the business along the way. Am I correct in that assumption? We've had to talk a little bit about this in the past. Is that correct?
Yeah, a little bit. The price of the business, that's part of my retirement. That's how I can afford to retire early. But it's very important that Mike succeeds. So you have to draw a line between, could I have gotten more if I sold it on the outside? Possibly, if I set the financials up right, you know, 5 years in advance, making sure that everything looks good on paper for the accountants and the loan officers. But what I was more concerned about was, is all the equipment current? Is the facility in beautiful condition? Is it something that he's not going to have to worry about in the first few years of ownership? Because he's going to have enough trouble. You know, he's going to have enough problems to solve. I don't want him worrying about, well, the alignment machine's breaking down. How do I get this fixed? I don't want him putting fires out. So I've spent the last 2 to 3 years literally redoing this whole facility, getting it ready for a new owner, and I want him to succeed. Yeah, I could have saved a lot of money by not doing that, but my whole point is, if he does well, my retirement goes smoothly too.
Absolutely. That's a great way to look at it, is because both sides have to win in the scenario. It can't be just you winning and him losing. In the long term also is you'll see a legacy as you drive through your community, that the shop is still there And that's a good feeling. So I do appreciate that. So thanks for sharing that, Dave.
You're welcome.
Dave, I want to thank you very much for being a guest on Two for Tuesday. And thank you all for watching this episode of Two for Tuesday. Should you like to be a guest, or if you have a question, send me an email at reed@parmelis.com. Again, Dave, thanks again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.